Hi everyone, it's Mrs. LaRose again. Thank you for joining us for our one and only Bob art enrichment lesson. This is going to be our last drawing lesson. I hope you have enjoyed doing the art lessons with me and also reading the book. We are really enjoying the book, and I'm also enjoying seeing the Google Meets and participating in that on Friday. So we have one more Friday to get together. So I hope you will share your art on the Friday Google Meet, which will be our last time meeting. We also want you to save your drawings because I'd like to reach out to you. Some of you have shared your drawings with me on Google Classroom, but we would like to have a virtual art show. So please make sure you take a picture of your artwork. You can either email it to me at larosema@daretololearn.org, or you can add it to the folder on our Google Classroom. All right, so for our last lesson today, I've added a couple slides to your Google Classroom. There is a Google slideshow in there for you to open up. I've been adding slides every week for the lesson, and they also have a video to go with it. So this is one of the slides that we have, and this is actually a model of a dog. And whenever you're trying to draw something in real life to make it look realistic, you want to be able to recognize geometric shapes that you see that make up the body. So this is actually a picture. This is the real model. These are available on Amazon. I also have a cat one and a dog one, and you can pose them and put them in different positions. It's really cool. You have to be pretty gentle with it as you move it around, but it's a great little model. So whenever you're trying to learn how to draw things realistically, it's a good idea to look at something like this. They also have these in human figures, and you can pose them as well. So what I want you to notice when you look at it is the geometric shapes that you recognize. So here we have in between these shapes that connect the body, this is actually a sphere. Okay, so these would be, for the legs, these would be cylinders. These would be a form of a sphere, more like an oval. Here's the sphere. This could be kind of like a rectangular prism, but with rounded edges. So when you look at the dog model, you're looking at some of the geometric shapes that you recognize. So on the slide, I have the rectangular prism, the cone, the cylinder, the sphere, the cube. So that's just a way of thinking about it. So for the next assignment, you are going to, and I talked to you a little bit about this at the Google Meet last Friday, you are going to find a picture of a pet. It can be a pet that you own. It could be a pet that you want to own. You could go on Google and you could do an image search and find a picture of a pet or a dog or a cat or an animal, any animal that you'd like to have. And you can either just have it up on a device like your tablet or your phone. You can print a picture of it if you want to, or if you are drawing your own pet, you can of course take your drawing pad and your paper and your pencils and sit and watch and draw your pet as you see it. This is Mr. Banks. I've talked to you a little bit about Mr. Banks during our book club meets. Banks is a lab mix. He does have some Rhodesian Ridgeback in him. And I think Miss Boyd was talking about how she has a dog that also has that mix. So he is 3 years old. And so I found a picture on my phone. I have so many pictures of Mr. Banks to choose from. But I found one that kind of had his whole body. You don't have to draw the pet's whole body. You can draw a part of it if you want to. And also if you don't have a pet or you don't want to draw a real cat or dog or animal, you can do a stuffed animal. That would be fine too. I think some of you showed your stuffed animals on the Google Meet last Friday. So that's fine too. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your pet handy, your picture, and I've already started to do a contour. We've talked about contour drawings. You guys did some practice. A contour drawing is an outline drawing. And so I'm going to go over my lines with my pencil, make them a little darker. So remember when you do a contour drawing, you were supposed to focus on a portion of or place on the object that you're drawing, and you were to move your pencil and your eye as you're drawing, and you were to draw lightly. Okay, so this is a contour, an outline drawing of Mr. Banks. And I'm just going over it a little bit darker. Okay? All right, so once you've done that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the finished drawing of Mr. Banks. So after I drew my contour, I thought about the geometric shapes that we saw in the model, okay? And I copied it. You don't have to do this. I just want to show this to you. I copied it or printed it out. So here is Mr. Banks. I took a metallic marker and I drew out the geometric shapes that make up his body. So you can recognize. So we have a sphere or an oval. We have kind of like a cylinder, a sphere, an oval, a rectangular prism with rounded edges. Okay, so I kind of did that. If you choose to draw the inside image of your dog, your cat, or your animal, whatever you're doing, you're going to draw these shapes lightly. So I'm going to start to do that now. Okay, so I'm going to draw like that would be the oval. And this would be another oval, and I'm doing it real lightly. Okay, and you eventually would erase all of these lines that I'm showing the shapes for. I'm just trying to get you to understand that when you're drawing something, it's made up of shapes. Okay, so that would be an oval here. Here's an oval. This would be a rectangular prism with rounded edges. Okay, and then you can start to draw in details, but you would do this really lightly. All right, and then after that, you would probably erase some of these shapes. And you would start to draw the details that you see. You know, you would position the eye. Okay, but I just kind of wanted you to understand that this object is made up of shapes, and that's part of it. It's just recognizing the shapes that you see. And then drawing them in. Okay, and take your time. This process takes a little bit of time. All right, and then you would just continue, and then you can see here that I started to add some shading. Remember, when you're drawing realistically, you want to show shape and form. So by adding your shading, you can make a flat object look like it has dimension, okay? For this drawing, I don't anticipate that you show a lot of detail. I'm really just getting you to focus on the contour, the outline. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't look exactly like you kind of had envisioned. This takes some time and some practice, okay? If you're doing a stuffed animal, try to draw it life size. So that means the size that it is. So I would pick an animal that was smaller. So if you do pick a larger animal, you will have to make it smaller. But that's just some tips for how to go about drawing your animal. So I hope you have learned some basics in our enrichment series on drawing. Again, the more you practice, the better you get. It's kind of like reading. So practice doing some more contour drawings this summer, some line contour, some continuous line drawings. It's a great way to practice and to understand how to draw shapes and forms. You also can look these images up on Google. You can see the cat one, the human one. I know at Kitty Hawk we did a lot of the human figure drawings. Those are also some more practice that you can do. And I hope you have enjoyed all of the book club meets. And again, please share your drawings, take pictures of them, upload them to Google Classroom or email them directly to me, and I will be putting together a little slideshow of some sort to show the artwork that we did for book club this summer. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing my Kitty Hawk Elementary School students hopefully in August. And for the rest of you, I hope I see you and get to see some of your artwork. Y'all have a great summer. Thanks for joining me.